Hello, I'm Josie Cekola Boucher. I'm a partner with Warner Norcross & Judd, and I'm the chair of our firm's Funds and Investment Services group. Today I'm here to talk to you about financing your startup. In my practice, I represent startup companies in all industries in connection with their fundraising and financing transactions. I also represent investors making investments in startup companies, both individual investors and venture capital funds. As you can imagine, a lot of financing transactions cross my desk every year, both on behalf of our startup company clients and on behalf of our investor clients. Throughout the course of my career, I've seen virtually every variation and structure of startup company finance. You might hear some of these words tossed around like SAFE, convertible note, pre-seed round, seed round, Series A, warrants. All of those are different variations of startup company finance, and all of them are applicable to what we're going to talk about today. The purpose of this video is to give you an overview of the legal considerations in connection with financing your startup and to let you know when you need to call a lawyer. Fundraising is one of the first steps in launching a company and is often necessary to get a company off the ground. Usually, founders self-fund a company until it's no longer feasible to do so, and then they look to friends, family, and other investors, sometimes called angel investors or venture capital funds, to get their company to the next level. Many founders are surprised to learn that when they take investments from friends and family, they're actually selling securities. And it doesn't matter if it's a friends and family round or a pre-seed round, or whether they're selling safes or a convertible note, common stock, or interest in a limited liability company. Those are all securities, and they are governed by state and federal securities laws. At the federal level, the Securities and Exchange Commission regulates the issuance and sale of securities. Each state also has its own state securities statute and regulators, and there are civil and criminal penalties for violating those statutes both at the federal and state level. For this reason, it is really important to talk to a securities lawyer before you decide to take any investors into your startup. Well, that brings me to my second takeaway point for this video, that all issuances of securities must either be registered with the SEC or exempt from registration. Now, it doesn't matter what type of instrument you're issuing. It could be stock, it could be debt, it could be a hybrid instrument like a SAFE. Those are all securities, and they all must either be registered with the SEC or exempt from registration. Now, what's registration with the SEC? Well, that's the process that we commonly talk about when a company goes public. It involves filing a registration statement with the SEC that contains a lot of lengthy information about the company, its business, its stockholders, its financial status. And just simply stated, it is too expensive and complicated and not a feasible option for a startup company. Now, the good news is, if you recall point number 2, that all issuances of securities must either be registered with the SEC or exempt from registration. There are numerous exemptions that apply to startup companies that do enable them to raise money in compliance with state and federal securities laws without going through the process of registration. Well, that brings me to my third takeaway for this video. Compliance with the exemptions from SEC registration requires specific legal expertise. Now, the exemptions themselves are not overly complicated or difficult to comply with, but a founder or a lawyer who is not well versed in these matters could easily misstep. For example, there are a number of different exemptions to rely on. Regulation D, Regulation A, Reg A+, Reg CF, which is the crowdfunding. But these are all not created equal, and choosing the wrong one could result in civil or criminal penalties or fines. Moreover, each of those exemptions has specific reporting requirements and restrictions, and making a violation of those could result in a hefty fine or losing the exemption. For all these reasons, it is really important when you are going to take investors into your startup that you consult with an experienced securities lawyer. Starting a new business, especially in a high technology or emerging growth market, is exciting and brings many challenges. I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors. If I or any of my colleagues here at Warner can be of any assistance, please don't hesitate to call us. Thanks for listening.